Okay, recording started. Thank you. So looking at the TPC and that other meeting, I've referenced it further down in the agenda, so I'll leave it till then. But just in terms of the Cert 3, 10585, I've just thrown that table in again, which was the units we've delivered and the number of times we've delivered those units. Those units highlighted in yellow are units that belong to a different training package, which means if anyone teaches on them, in our current people at TAFE and IDP space, for you to have the vocational competency to deliver and the currency, probably have to have that unit yourself, which means you've got the qual that those units are sitting in, because we don't own them. And the currency, you might have to show that you're current within that vocational section and that vocational area. Now with ICT, which sort of awful amount of that on a daily basis, so it's not hard to prove currency in perhaps those ICT units. But just be aware that they're not going to be as easy for you to tick off in people at TAFE as the ones that belong to us. So that's what those yellow ones are doing. So did anybody have a think about anything in terms of 10585? Actually, I had a question. Who's actually offering it this year, the Cert 3?
We are at Murwillumbah.
Okay, Murwillumbah.
Subject to getting enough numbers. We're not starting it till week 3, and I've had a steady roll in of people kind of needing it, so.
Okay.
Check's offering it, Warren.
Who is? Check?
Check, yep.
Okay. And you got some
Gosford and Wyong are offering it.
Gosford and Wyong.
Kingscliff offers it.
Yes.
Ballina as well, Warren.
Okay, well, okay, we've got quite a few. All right, well, that's good. Anyone else?
Belmont semester 2.
Okay, all right, that's good. Yep.
Maitland semester 2.
All right, yep.
And Glendale semester 2 as well.
And I think Wallumbah semester 2.
Okay, so everyone's offering it. Jolly good. So it is a significant thing to sort out. Some of it's going to depend, obviously, on the availability of the teachers in the section. So those people who are offering it, are there any units in that list, looking at the top cluster, that you particularly, well, actually it's going to get a bit chaotic. Can I put an action out now? Any of the sections that are offering it, can you let me know what your units are?
Mm-hmm.
That be okay?
Yep.
All right. Or if you've only selected those units, I could get it off your product offering, but you might have had more units on your product offering than you're actually needing to deliver. So I'll put an action up. Right, very good. Okay, well that'll sort that out. Is anyone need to comment on 10585? Any issues, anything that we need to have a look at? Anything that might raise its ugly head?
No.
Courses all right?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. The next thing on the actions was that community of practice members to identify the subject matter area that you might be in because we need to organise a few CD activities across subject matter expert areas, biology, science, whatever. Science is probably a bit too broad, physics, English, humanities, maths. Now, I have popped an agenda item further down on that one, but hopefully a few of you had thought about that. Actually, probably not, because it was near Christmas and then we forgot about it and did lots of other things. So we'll revisit that in a minute, and we might get some action going that gets some CD activities and some currency activities to make it really easy for our teachers, full-time teachers and part-time teachers, to get their IDP created and currency demonstrated, because it can be easy. So we'll do that. The next action was about physics and chemistry, and we did do that. So we've been liaising with Dave Carey, and it looks like physics is not going ahead. Live stream, there weren't any physics, or not enough physics students to get even the start of the class up there at Wallenbar, Dave.
That's right, yeah. Only had one student, and he was a little bit weak at that as well.
So I I checked with Christy if it was possible for us to pick it up, and she was very reluctant, and I can sort of understand with the big dropout. I was just wondering, because I've got a couple of students who want to get into aviation where physics is recommended, it's not essential, but do you think at any point there might be an option to have like a Moodle or something else that's maybe not live streamed but actually gives them an option to do something flexible, which will be cheap to run? So if we only have a handful of students that want to do it, we could still do it.
Well, that's a good question, because I posed that to TAFE Digital and the head of career pathways in TAFE Digital with Paul Colwell, and I said specifically we need those physics, chemistry if they could, and the high level maths really to run out of TAFE Digital so we can pick it up.
And what did they say?
He said that he actually was quite unclear, but it's certainly not going to happen this year. It's on their list of things. I think they were investigating how they would best do it. If they were going to put up tricky things like physics and chemistry onto their Moodle, how they would best deliver it, and then all those practical things as well. So hopefully they will get there. Maybe we'll investigate. We'll certainly be pushing that. It won't happen this year, but hopefully it will for next year.
It's entirely feasible, because I had the very first year I ran the second semester biology, I did that through. That was before Moodle existed, I think. Maybe not. Maybe I did use Moodle. Anyway, I ran it completely flexibly with just, I think, 2 face-to-face days where we did practical work, and it worked. The students got through. So if you've got access to somebody who can take them through the practical work on campus, and they're enrolled face-to-face for everything else, it is entirely feasible. I just hope that it gets off the ground, because it's much better if Dave gets the numbers and can run it, but it's quite likely we're going to have the same scenario again where we just can't get the numbers.
Yeah, and we've been investigating it down here as well. We do have fully equipped physics lab, and perhaps a teacher who can teach it. So I believe he's in today, or was in today. I had sent the request out that we track him down, see if he's prepared to do it. I'm not sure if he'd be prepared to do the live stream after not having taught it for a couple of years. So anyway, I'll keep everybody in the loop of where we go with that here. But at this point, we'd be telling the students that physics is not an option for us, and that's like like that's diabolical that we can't somehow offer that.
Mm.
You'll go a long way.
Okay. Now we were down here. We're looking at calculus. We have found a teacher and perhaps a room using video conference, not the live stream like Dave did, but just doing a video conference where the video conference camera points to a whiteboard that the students can see in the classroom and that the remote students can see, and they can hook in. Hopefully they would just hook in either via the video conference they might access in a library, a local campus library, or they may be able just to access it through the TAFE VC online app. So if anyone's got some calculus students, again, this teacher's his first crack at it, so we don't want to have 1,000 remote students in a whole heap of different remote areas. But if you've got some, let me know, and we'll see if we can accommodate them.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be for semester 2, Warren?
Yes, but yeah, we'd also be looking at running those 2 high-level maths in semester 1. We'll be running it through PFS in semester 1.
Oh, okay.
So I believe it's on a Thursday and kicking off next Thursday. Anyway, pop at that one. All right.
Just before you go on, Warren.
Yep.
We are running a chemistry class, and yes, I'm happy to do it live stream. I did have some people indicate they may have some students. I've just lost those contacts of the people that indicated. So if there's anyone that said yes, they have some students who want to join the chemistry live stream, the class is on Thursday afternoon from 1 to 4 o'clock, starting next week. So I need to find out who's got students that want to join in.
Yep.
Thanks, Martha.
No worries.
Okay, perfect. We'll send that one around. I'll send that out to all the team leaders, head teachers, see what we can get back on that. Okay. Oh yeah, the next action probably is just a standing one, and it's about all the assessments that we're now going to be looking at, and make sure that if we find any of those assessments that are sitting up on the learning bank which aren't all that good, or you can suggest refinements, I've got a link there, and we need to start pumping this back to the skills point.
Okay, I've started a list of problems I found with the biology ones.
Yeah. If you feed that back, and we're going to get the biology subject matter experts together. So if you could share that with, obviously send that in through the skills point.
Yep.
But I'm wondering if we can ratify those problems with others who will also submit it. The volume of complaints then might force some action.
Okay. Well, they're usually little things, but
yeah, we don't want our students even having to worry about little glitches, do we? It'd be nice.
Yeah, no, that's right. And I just things like I think it was the unit assessment guides had the wrong course number on it. I wrote it down. Oh, here it is. Yeah, the unit assessment guides had preparation instead of pathways to further study.
Yep.
And little things like that. And I just thought, yeah, those things need to get fixed.
Yeah.
So,
look, those little things will get fixed really quickly. It's the things that where someone's going to say, look, this question doesn't really, the student struggled with the way it was worded, or it didn't sort of really meet what the unit was saying.
Yep.
You know, if there's gaps like that, then they've got to pull a team of subject matter experts in. But a spelling mistake they'll fix, and
Yeah.
they have done that well in the past.
Yep. Okay. Well, I've got a list of things I'll send through. Do you want me to send them via you? Or...
No, there's a link there. You could
send them that way.
Yeah, you could send them to me as well, if they're all summarised, which would be good. And then I can keep a track of them as well.
Okay.
And then you send them through that skills point link on the meeting notes.
Okay.
Now, the student unit result sheets, which was for TPC, I was supposed to find out what to do with them. We clearly don't need to deal with those at TPC level because the students have gone. But certainly at the Cert 3 level, if you're doing the Cert 3 path PFS or the other Cert 3, those SURs should be filled in if you're seeing the students after the unit results have been finalised. But if you've got to chase a student halfway around the world to get them to sign it because they've shot through, then don't do it. And tell everybody I said so. And then I'll get into trouble and you won't. And the last one there, that verification. The people sent me a few things, few issues with verification. I've sent those up to skills point. So issues with verification, which hopefully will get sorted, are all with that. The skills point are fully aware of them. Okay, I think that might have mopped up the carnage from last meeting. Anyone got anything that they want to add or comment? No? Okay. Down to number 5 on the agenda. And this was basically just looking back at the experience we had last year. So one of the things we're still waiting on as a result of that, normally we get copies of who was in the top 50, what the top 10 or 20 or 30 were in each unit, depending on how big the unit was. I understand that they're getting compiled at the moment, and when they come back, if you had some students who fared well in TPC, then it would be really good to get onto your local marketing teams to get those good news stories out into the marketplace and really promote the great work that you do and the wonderful outcomes the students get. So as soon as those come out, I'll send them down. I'll send them out to everyone. Were there any issues that you had with course completions, with getting a TES or anything like that needs to get followed up? Now you've come back, is there any carnage left over from last year?
Warren, just one thing that I was finding, that I was getting hit by every student: where's my TES? How do I find my TES? Is it possible that some stage along the line we might be able to put together like a little fact sheet or something that we can send to the students, just sort of being able to point them in the direction of the who, what, whens and hows and why-fors of the TES?
And so that's looking at the TES in the student portal?
Yeah, accessing it, yeah.
Yep, okay, yep. Yeah, that can be good. Look, it'd be nice if we could do that. As teachers, we don't see it, so perhaps we could. I'm not sure if the skills point can do that. They've probably got less access than we do. But if you have got a student who we can have a look at their portal, we might be able to get some screenshots and then anonymise them and build something. Does anyone have a TPC student who's landed back on campus?
No.
No, I don't know.
Not one with a TES.
No. Okay. All right. Well, that's all right. I'll chase that up with someone and see what we can get. I might send that down to student services down in Sydney. They've probably got access to all that stuff.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, just that, I've probably got a phone call or an email off every single student going, where is it? How do I find it? And, it'd be just nice if we could hand that out prior to the exams with the exam timetable so they know, where they've got a point.
Yeah. Yeah, so if they build a one-pager with a few screenshots or something and a link, if they have it, then, yeah, that'd be great to hand out to the students. Good point.
Okay,
Any other
thanks.
things? All right, so as I said, they're good news stories. If you did have some students heading off to uni or going extremely well, we need to feed the local media, but we also need to get those good news stories back to Jason, who's back on deck as host from next week. But we need to get it back to the skills team so that we can promote that as well. So don't keep them a secret. Share them with everyone, and we can get that out. And that happens with a lot of them. So for you, if you pass them to your head teacher or your team leader, any good news stories, it might even just be a little summary of how well they went, or you might have done something more formal with a little interview or something, and they've signed yes, you can use my photo or whatever. That'd be good. I've mentioned the statewide TPC coordinator, so watch this space. I did ask for hints as to who it was, but I didn't find someone. They didn't tell me. But that's a dual role. It is the TAFE digital admin person, and the other part of their role is TPC coordination. So they won't be all ours, which is a bit of a problem. That other meeting that some of us went to on the 3rd of December, which was that TPC delivery planning meeting for this year, I have uploaded the minutes to SharePoint, and there's a link there to those minutes. So if you went to it, they're there. If you didn't go to it, then you could read the minutes and see what was said. But one of the actions out of that was for all the maths teachers to get together, or a group of them, and have a look at how to manage the delivery and assessment of the PFS maths units. Now, that didn't happen, Michael, and I think Gary Baker was supposed to be part of that, but obviously that happened late, and then Christmas got in the way, and now it's just crazy mad. So
that list that I sent, Warren, 5 of us devised that at our verification panel. So, I mean, that's not my idea. I mean, it was mainly Gary's idea, and the other 4 of us sort of had a good look at it and all said, yep, that looks like the way to go. So, I mean, 5 of us came up with that. It wasn't just one person. So that's really already been done.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's very honest, Michael. I'll update that and share the praise. Yeah. Well, look, Michael, we might take that off. Any North Coast maths teachers want to get involved in that one?
I'm not a maths teacher, but I know our maths teacher, Aaron Carl, was talking about delivering FSK num 21 and 31st to get them out of the way. And that would free up any students who aren't doing maths to have that day off.
Okay. Yeah, it was interesting. I think the other side of that was leaving some of those ones to the very end when there were less students who needed to do it, so there was less assessment marking. But look, both of those options are very logical and sensible.
Mm.
So look, I'll contact Aaron and get him to be involved in the meeting as well, if that's okay.
Yep, that's perfectly fine.
And any other maths teachers up there that might be interested?
Hey Warren, it's Jordan. A check. Our maths teacher's semi-retired, so unlikely he'll be interested, but he was planning on doing the same, probably do NUM 21 and 30 first.
Okay, yep.
Similar situation at Wallumbah there, Warren.
All right. Okay, that's good. And check. All right. That's good.
Sorry, Warren, it's Jordan again. Can I just clarify too? I thought in the last meeting we discussed like putting together a portfolio item for MTH 001 and 002. And that I guess the assessment tasks are a little bit vague in that it's just at the teacher's discretion, like what they come up with for the portfolio. So is there a consensus on what should be in there?
Oh, look, I think you're dead right. If it's ad hoc, then it's a pain in the neck. And if we can get some consistency about what the items are that we're going to expect, which questions, and we all do it, then it makes it nice and easy then. So that'll certainly be on the agenda of this maths specific meeting.
When's that meeting on?
That's a very good question. I've got to contact people and work out when we can get together, but it really needs to be in the next few weeks, I would think.
I'm sure that Aaron would be keen to be involved because he was talking to me about that issue of the portfolios within the last few days. So, yeah, that's definitely something that he also believes needs to be fixed.
Wonderful. Okay, yeah, and the marking criteria for that for the portfolio is just diabolical. So what we want is that every student submits the same items of work.
Yeah.
They do that as a class activity, which means they're basically getting it all right.
Yeah.
Not by cheating, but they just coincidentally get it all right. And then because they've got it all right, we don't have to agonise over the nuances of the marking scheme.
Mm.
Yeah, so that'll be the goal.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So that's okay. All right. Yeah. The next little one was really more to do with money. So those of you who are running Cert 3, the PFS in Semester 1, and then TPC in Semester 2, depending on what electives you choose, you can end up with no money at all almost in Semester 2 to run TPC, or you can have quite a bit of money, depending on how many credits that you let the student have. So if you have, and I've got two options there that I'm mentioning. Option one is you want to make it really easy for your students. So you give them all of the electives in PFS that they can use in TPC in Semester 2. Now, that means it's real easy for the student. They've only got those 3 units in Semester 2, the scalable ones, and everything else is done. But that does mean that you're only going to get 3/10 of the revenue to run Semester 2, assuming that each unit is allocated as 1/10 of the overall price of TPC. And I believe that is the case. I don't think they do it proportionally based on nominal hours or anything. I think that's too tricky for our friends in Sydney. So the other alternative is the students work hard, and you don't give them any credits that you can get away with in semester 2, and then there's a maximum of 7 units that they can do afresh in semester 2, and that gives them 7/10 of the revenue for TPC in semester 2. So we can get somewhere between about $2,500 or $5,500, depending on how you manage the credits for students who are doing TPC only in semester 2. Now, basically it's up to you, but you've got to come up with some plan, so that if you do want to make it easy for the students, then you've got to work out whether or not you can run the semester 2 TPC on the money that you get. And the other issue is, if you carefully select your electives, some of those, there's some numeracy units and some learning units which are quite easy. You could actually deliver the content of those in amongst your other stuff in semester 1, so that they might have actually finished all the work. They could have even done the assessments in semester 1 when it's a bit lighter, even though they weren't enrolled in those units. And then as soon as they enrol in the units, there it is, you've got the assessment evidence that they passed. So you can cleverly manage the units and the workload so that the students aren't snowed under in semester 2. So any comments about that? I'll leave you with it anyway. The numbers are there. You need to have a look at the electives that you wanted to offer, and look at the standard assessment tasks. And I know when you're looking at NUM 21 and those ones, and the numeracy unit, which is, oh no, there's not. There's the learning units and things. So and there is a numeracy unit that's an elective in TPC, and it's just a test. That test's already up there. You could deliver that test, and it's just, I think it's just a calculator test, so you can deliver that in class together in one go. Some of those units aren't burdensome. So,
Galen here. Is the consensus of the opinion that we just deliver 3 scalable units, or are we going to still do the 4 like we have for many years?
Well, again, there's no hard and fast rule. Certainly the structure of the new TPC doesn't entice you into 4 scalable units like the old one probably might have. I think you've got to make that call with your students.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we don't want to put them under undue pressure, but we also don't want to limit their chance of passing by not having a little bit of a safety net there. So yeah. I think that's going to be a local decision. You might get a few good students, and that gives them a bit of flexibility in getting their TES, and then you might get some others who are really struggling and they need as many credits as they can just to get through.
Yeah, I was going to run the 4, but I don't want to disadvantage my students if not many people are going to do that. But anyway, local decisions later on.
Yeah, look, I think so, and what we can do, we haven't canvassed, I don't believe, what each section's planning to do in that case. So, yeah, at the next meeting, maybe we'll ask everybody what their view is on 4 scalables or 3. Lorinda's just said that in Gosford and Wyong they run 4 scalable units. So I'll put that down. Yep. Yeah, and look, this new TPC structure really does lend itself to making life easier if the students need an easier life, which is nice. Belmont looks at doing 4, so okay. Well, actually, if you know now and you want to put it in the chat pod for me, how many scalable units that you normally run in TPC at the end of the year?
When you say scalable units, you're talking about the academic electives in the Cert 4, Warren?
Yeah, well, they've got to do the scalable LAOS one.
Yeah.
And then they really only need 2 other academic electives, but sometimes people put three electives in, even though they don't need 3 electives.
Are you talking about what the student might choose, or are you talking about what the section might offer?
It's what the section would offer. So can your student actually choose 4? Are you encouraging them to choose 4?
Yeah. No, it looks like we'll be encouraging to choosing 3.
Yep. Yeah, well, don't feel a lot of people are saying 4. If most of their students last year did 4 scalable units, then yes, what Martha said is right. Clearly, if a student wanted to and the timetable fits, some can choose 4, but what's the norm with your students? And if you're the only campus that each student did LAOS B in the old language and 2 others, and everyone else has done LAOS B and 3 others, if LAOS B and 2 others works for you, you stick with it.
Yeah, we only had one student that did 3 other units other than the LAOS. Everybody else just had 2.
Yep. Yeah, and looking around the state, there was no clear pattern. Down in Sydney, some of them did 4 and 5 electives. Goodness knows how they got them all in, but most of them did 2 or 3 electives. So that's 3 or 4 scalable units. I think it was reasonably evenly split, with maybe across the state more students with just 3 scalable units, and they lived and died by what the results were of those 3 units. So that's all right. Okay. Now, this next thing is probably the most critical thing for us today, and it's really setting us up for these currency activities in the subject matter areas. And this was mentioned last time, and it's got a number 1 there. In fact, I don't know why the number 1 came across, but CD activities. I've just grabbed the bit of text I had in the last meeting, just to show you where all the bits and pieces are for CD activities. And then line 9, my numbering's good. I notice 8 follows 9. But the SME CD activities, which is item 9 on the agenda, SME, subject matter expert. The CD activities are those activities that have been created in people at TAFE, and I must apologise today that I didn't get this meeting as a CD activity, but I will build it in there as a CD activity, as with, I think, the last one, and I will get them to populate your names in it, so it will appear on your CD record as you attended this meeting, and I'll upload the minutes and everything in there, so you just have to go and put in a professional reflection for this meeting and any other meetings that I've missed. But what we want to do, because we don't want everybody to get stuck putting kick forms into people at TAFE, because they're a pain in the neck, what we would like is that we have a few carefully planned, maybe 2 a year per subject matter, so 2 English per year, 1 a semester, 2 maths ones per year, 1 a semester, etc. And they're just fabricated meetings like this, but the topics on those meetings will target something that is convincing that you had a currency activity against some units or all of the units in your subject area.
Sharing resources.
Sharing resources, that's right. Now, Julie Reeves, bless her soul, because she's a head teacher, we did her IDP last week, and because there weren't any of these CD activities in people at TAFE for biology, she had to put them all in as kick forms. But she had wonderful evidence, but had to do it as a kick form.
Mm.
And what that meant was, though, that she's got this evidence, but it's just hers. So what she's going to do, did I say bless her soul?
Mm-hmm.
What she's going to do is now create a meeting where the items on the meeting are the stuff she put in the kick form. So one of them was she'd read this article or something, and she said, oh, that was so good because it links into this unit and this unit. Well, that's going to be an item on the meeting agenda, so anyone who attends that meeting will hear Julie say, I read this article and it had this, this and this, which links to this unit, and you can use that. And then she can go on to the next kick form, which might have been something else, and she'll tell you about it. And then maybe another biology teacher might have something that they've read or seen, or a YouTube video or someone they talk to. They could be on the agenda, maybe 3 or 4 separate items on the agenda. It's all there. The article would be uploaded, and then the commentary around it will be in the minutes. All the biology teachers would just attend. Julie's going to make it a 5-hour meeting because there's so much to talk about. It'll only run for 10 minutes, but the people at TAFE won't know that. And the minutes will make it look like, gee, you squeezed all that into 5 hours. And so it'll be really good. Julie's not believing me. But what happens is, if I'm a biology teacher, I attend this meeting, which, let's say, it's scheduled for an hour, but might go for 15 minutes or half an hour, depending if you want to shut people at TAFE up, or you really do want to collaborate and engage. And I'll leave that up to you. But at the end of it, all the teachers have got to do is write a professional reflection. And if along the way, Julia said, look, this thing links into these units, and it means you can actually maybe update the context of these latest stats. You know, here's the coronavirus. We're talking about viruses. Here's the coronavirus. So we'll implement that into our class lesson. And then your professional reflection's almost done, because you'll just grab that and put that as your professional reflection. Oh, I'm going to include coronavirus in my class notes because it links into performance criteria 3.2 of that unit. And then your teachers have got their industry currency in those trickier subject matter areas.
That's exactly the one I was working on, Warren, because for the biology teachers, you know, you have to do a beneficial or a detrimental effect of a microorganism. So there's nothing more current than coronavirus. I'm actually working on that one now because that'll fit in nicely to our second semester unit, as Christy would know.
Beautiful. So what we need to get this moving is first identify all of the subject matter experts. So they're the ones that are teaching Cert 2 and above, I think, within subjects. Look at the units that we deliver as subject matter expert units. So all the NUM ones for the maths teachers. And then we're looking at, you know, the bio. Dave could be a bit tricky here, but we might be able to work out some mates for you, or we might have to we might have to phone a friend in another region or work up another model.
The verification panels that we had last year, the chairperson used those as examples that we could put as CD activities.
Yeah, the verification panels are okay, but obviously they don't hit some of those other units, the PFS units, and then FSK units in numeracy and English. And the verification panel's quite narrow. Depending how you talk about it, you've definitely got to use them because they are so good. And how you talk them up is going to be how good they appear. But I think we still need to have at least one other or two, one a semester, robust meeting where we discuss some things, and we'll look at how we do that. So the action I've got there is that we've got to form these SME teams. We've then got to identify the units that we're looking at, and then we've got to have a look at who might get allocated to find something, and hopefully everyone's got something. If they've already got something that they've read recently or seen or discussed or whatever, then they can present that on the meeting. And when I say present, it's not a scary present. It's just something simple, and it's the words that you put around it that'll give it all of its credibility. And then it's a matter of organising that meeting with everybody in it and creating that CD activity, and then running it. So that's what I want to happen from here. Julie, did I mention bless her soul? I think I did. Julie is going to be the biology coordinator, at least this year, for want of a better term, and she is going to reach out to all the biology ones and form a meeting to kickstart that.
Sweet.
Yeah, good. It'd be good to get anyone else volunteering. If I was to talk English, do I have a volunteer, a head teacher perhaps, who may already have uploaded kick forms for English?
Ooh.
Is that volunteer music?
Okay, righto.
Raylene,
Yes.
I wasn't even thinking.
Warren and the TPC crew at the moment.
Okay, maths, maybe.
Okay.
I'm looking for a maths teacher. That might be here, Michael.
And you're probably looking for that list of names and numbers of units.
I might write his name down.
At the moment.
Okay. What else? Humanities? Now, whether we have to narrow that down, any humanities volunteers out there? Someone who might just get the ball going? Anyone who's got any currency that they've already got in a kick form for humanities? I don't know if we need to go into legal, and then if we need to go into history, and might get a bit ugly, but we'll make a start. Anything happening? Anyone there?
I'll run it past Errol.
Oh, good. Thank you. I'll write his name down because that sounded really good.
Yeah.
So English, maths, so chem, physics. I'll just have to put your name down, Dave. Not that you'll need to do much, but if there aren't any others, then it's all kick form for you.
Yeah, for sure.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
So have I missed any subject matter?
Yes.
English, maths, humanities. I've got them all. Okay. I think that must be Michael talking. So
No, that's not me.
Volunteering. Now does that sound okay?
Yep.
One a semester?
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
If we get lots of people who've got lots of little things that they've put in a kick form or stuff they could talk about that might be relating to what's happening currently, we could run an extra one, get a couple in early, because full-time teachers will need to have had one of these at least by the 27th of April. The part-time teachers will have hopefully done at least 2 of them by the 12th of October. Yeah. So we want to make it easy for them, and we want to make it easy for the head teachers as well, because if all of them are putting the same stuff in, the head teachers got it easy. Okay. Michael.
Warren.
We just dobbed you in.
I'm sorry?
We just dobbed you in.
No, I've been here the whole time.
Yeah.
I thought the less I said, the less work I'd get.
No, it actually works the other way. So I asked, does anyone not want me to volunteer them? And you were quiet.
Come on, Warren.
So in item 8, which follows item 9, which just precedes item 9 as well, which is the other item 9, it's the setting up of the subject matter experts to run a CD activity meeting where people just talk about currency activities that they might have put into their IDP, and then everyone will piggyback off everybody else's currency. And you said yes, you'd love to do it.
I'm not saying anything.
No, that's all right. No, nothing is yes. It's always been yes. I'll talk to you about that a bit later then. Okay, so I'll shut up. I'm sorry about that. We've nearly gone too far. Has anyone got anything they want to say, anything I need to follow up, apart from all the things I've already got to follow up?
I'm about to get kicked out of the campus.
Okay. Oh, I wish they'd come here and kick me out. Okay, that's all right. Well, anyone got any other things? These are just issues and suggestions and things. It's a free-for-all at the end.
Will you send out a copy of minutes, updated minutes of this, Warren?
Yep. Okay.
They're
up they'll be in the community of practice folder.
Yeah.
But I'll send them out when I've done them as well. Yep.
Okay, fine, thanks.
All right. That was good. The next meeting, any suggestions on when you would like the next meeting to be? A month?
Yeah.
2 months?
A month sounds good.
Okay, so we're currently at the end of January, the end of February, or the start of March. When would you like it? Oh, March for me looks clear. What happened to... What if I, we're Wednesday afternoon. Any afternoon, Wednesday working for you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yep. From 3:30 to 4:37?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Yep.
Done. All right. If you have any questions or any concerns, please let me know. Harass your team leaders. But all the best for next week. I hope it goes smoothly. And we'll meet again very soon.
Thank you, Warren.
Thank you, Warren.
Thank you. Thank you, Michael.
Bye, mate.
Okay. Have a good evening.
Bye.
Thanks, you too.
Bye-bye.
See you all.
Bye.
Bye.